Hey there, Cheryl here. So today is an extremely special day. I am here with Kelly Flowers, CEO of Women Leading Technology. Kelly, you are one of the busiest people I know, so I am so grateful to have you here. Welcome.
I'm happy to be here, Cheryl. Thank you.
And we have so many things to talk about. We might have to do a part two. I'm thinking in my head, what's the most important one? But before we jump in, I thought I would ask you a little bit about how did you get to leading this worldwide movement? I mean, what sparked your interest? You're still a young person, especially compared to me, but as even a younger person, what sparked your interest? And, did you have any road bumps along the way?
Basically, I've always been a person. I joke a lot because it's actually true too. I've always, when I was younger, at first I thought I wanted to be a teacher, right? And then I read Cat in the Hat. A lot of people are like, "What? What does that mean? What does that have to do with anything?" I'm sorry, not Cat and Hat. I'm sorry, Green Eggs and Ham. I always say Cat and Hat, but Green Eggs and Ham. And Green Eggs and Ham actually led me to want to be doing something in sales. And so that actually launched my career thinking or mindset of thinking of what I wanted to do to be in a world of sales, which led me to technology sales. But it also led me to realize that being in the technology industry was very few women. It was a very few women that were actually at the head of the table, and it was very few women of color that was also in the technology space. And so I was like, this is an interesting dynamic. So I would love to do something to kind of change that trajectory along the way. I want to be able to create a space that is more like a sisterhood, where women can come together in the same space. But also, I want to create a movement so that we can get more women and girls involved in the space. Because as we know, um, when people say underserved, women are underserved as a whole. And so I think it's very important for us to open the doors up for more women to get into those type of industries. And I always we call our STEAM, because we do science, technology, engineering, arts, architecture, and mathematics. And the two A's is not a misspelling.
Yeah,
And then,
I want to pause you on that for a second
yeah.
because it's really important. Because before we went live, I'm like, so art and technology, that doesn't, it seems like liberal arts and science. And you're like, oh, no, 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 no. So can you explain to the people listening, the listeners, what you explained to me before we came on?
So basically, what people don't realize about art is that art is like when you have a band, and who is the most important? All of the instruments are important, but it's one that actually just brings the band together. It's the heartbeat, which is the drums. So arts is just like the drums. You actually need art in order for all of the other components to work, in order for the science, the technology, the engineering, the architecture, the mathematics. All of that requires art because you have to be a visionary. You have to be a person that is innovative and can kind of like think out of the box. And art is what brings all that together.
Wow, I think that is a very important part and also very unique. So
Yeah.
that was very innovative of you to include that.
Well, thank you. I'm not the first, but I really want to make sure that we are making a difference for these girls so that they can understand the importance of being in STEAM and seeking a career in STEAM.
Yeah. And so in your, mission, from many years ago or as a younger person, normally anyone who has achieved something of great success, it hasn't been a straight line from A to B. So I'd like to invite you to share any setbacks or any road bumps, and then, how did you get around them and keep going?
There are a lot of, whenever you are doing any type of business or any type of movement or anything that you start, is not going to be easy. You're going to have a lot of roadblocks. You're going to have situations that will come up, and you're going to have incidents that come up. with me currently dealing with a hacking situation, but you work through it. Dealing with roadblocks is really just trying to keep people engaged in helping with the mission. Sometimes can be a challenge. It's just a variety of different roadblocks that can happen along the way, but you have to be a person that is fearless, number one. You have to have tenacity and you have to have drive, and your why has to be bigger than anything. So if you know what your why is and why you're doing what you're doing, everything else will, work itself out.
Yeah, 100%. And I love that you brought up the word fearless, because that word is sometimes misunderstood. And just, after having the honor of working with Olympians and amazing female leaders across the country, leaders such as yourself, these world-class performers have fear and doubt. I'll throw doubt in there too. Yes. So fearless doesn't mean the absence of fear. Mm-hmm. It means looking at the face and proceeding anyway. And that's really also, I stole a little bit from Seth Godin in his book Lynchpin, but he's very explicit about that. So I want to really emphasize the importance, but also clear up that, I'm sure at some point what you were doing, you're like, how am I going to do it? Like, it was scary.
That's right. Absolutely.
At every next level, there's some fear and there's some doubt, and world-class performers take a deep breath, they figure it out, they get help. And along the lines of asking for help, this topic came up a little bit when we were talking before. I think you were hoping that I forgot about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I didn't. So I'm wondering if you could share something that's very important to you, that you have some personal experience with, and then maybe what are some consequences if we don't level up in this area as being a woman, especially a woman in technology?
Well, the very first thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. That is the one, whenever there's like strengths and weaknesses. I'm strong in so many areas, very determined, very, resilient, fearless, all that good stuff. However, my biggest weakness is asking for help. And that is not a good thing when you are in business. You actually need, one of my buddies actually brought up something that I was like, wow, I really need that. She was like, oh, I just got the phone with my accountability partners and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I need that. And so it's like, because if you don't have that, you're going to feel like you're on an island by yourself. And that's not a way to be in business. You need people that you can bounce ideas off of. You need people that have already been in a business, who've been successful in the mission that you're trying to accomplish. And it's okay to ask for help from them, to kind of give you some guidance and, be a mentor for you and things of that nature. And I think that we all need that. And that is my biggest weakness that I am working on overcoming.
Yeah. And then, so, and we kind of joked around about it. I said, I'm sure you're the only woman on the planet that struggles with this. But absolutely not. It's more like probably more women do this than don't, because, it's like a cultural indoctrination of ours, probably not to ask for help. We either were taught or we witnessed, don't be a nuisance, just be quiet and do your thing. Even, not even a generation ago, it was like, the man worked and the woman just made sure that everything was tidy and that he was provided for, and it didn't cause him any stress when he got home.
That's right.
We weren't taught that. Chances are, if you're at least around our age, probably witnessed that. So we also have some subconscious stuff going on of like why it is very difficult to ask for help.
It is.
But there's consequences if we don't, because that we also talked about, because influence does not happen in solitude, and all these actions and movements. And so can you, is there anything you can share that really hits this point home?
So whenever you don't have when you don't ask for help, like I was saying earlier, sometimes you can back yourself into a corner where you feel like you're just on an island alone. When really you don't have to be alone. If you Because when you're working in solitude, sometimes you're relying on your own information and your own understanding and all of that, right? But if you have someone that has already been through what you're going through, it's extremely helpful to you to avoid some of those pitfalls if you can speak to people who've already been there. And so that's why I think it's extremely important for whenever you're in business and whenever you're doing movements or anything that your heart is desire, whatever your purpose is in life, just make sure that you have that accountability partner, have those individuals that you can call on to help you to avoid some of the pitfalls. And I just think that that's just really important. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And also from if you don't mind, I'll put on my coaching hat for a second, just be really preventative.
Yes.
Like, I think of it, the story, I don't share the story with too many folks, but I was in Mexico once.
Okay.
We were in a canoe in Ilapa, which is a very remote area, and there was holes in the canoe, and water started to come in. And the thing was going to come down. We were probably like 600 yards away from land, and there was like a swell, and it was not a good situation.
Yes.
You don't want to hoo and haw in that situation, like, oh, we dump the water out, we know we can't.
Yeah.
No, you have to just like start, asking for help. And as you can tell, I made it.
You did. Good. I'm glad you made it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I remember when I first decided to kind of venture off into starting women leading technology, and which is going really good. I'm very grateful for all of the support that we do get with the organization. But we have went through we have had challenges of really just growing a lot of the membership side. And the reason why is because we just haven't put a lot of more focus. We need more focus in that area. And so the best thing for us to do is to seek help, to get someone who actually is like really advanced in that area, because we're just all just beautiful, like-minded individuals that's coming together to put a mission together. Not like we have a whole lot of background on building a organization, but we have the passion and the drive to want to see the mission through. And so that's what we are, just a bunch of passionate women coming together to really, see how we can push the mission forward to help, a lot of young ladies and women.
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up. So when it comes to really leading a movement, especially from scratch, like from an idea, I want to make this better for someone else, and then just having it come into reality. It seems like one thing that's incredibly important is, passion can get you so far. And then thinking about what do I need, and in your case, it's membership, and then getting the help, of someone who's an expert in something where filling the gaps is where I'm getting
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And doing it sooner rather than later, like before the kayak goes down.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And so, like I said, it's important to ask for help. So I'm asking for help.
So that being said, what is one way for listeners, and a lot of women in my community are amazing in their leadership and technology, or they're at least connected to someone who is. So another thing that I will tell you that, and I'm going to throw us women under the bus at the same time, that we are not good at is making big asks.
Yes.
So if you were to put a big ask out there for anyone listening, what would that be?
My ask is for the right individuals who have the mission of helping and being a servant leader to definitely reach out to our organization, and we want you to be a part of the mission. And my big ask is for you to be a servant leader and definitely have a servant heart and help us to push the mission forward, because it's important for us to make sure that we leave a legacy that's going to be like a Mary Kay, but we want it to be as big as the Girl Scouts. And we want to make sure that we are driving that home and getting more girls involved in our STEAM mission. We have a bunch of different initiatives coming up that's going to help a lot of girls to have those hands-on experiences. But we need the individuals who have the servant leadership, who have the servant heart, and who wants to be a part of a mission that is going to be bigger than we can just ever imagine. And so my big ask is for you guys to reach out to us and see how you can get involved.
So 2 questions. One is, yes, what is the best way, or who or how would they reach out? Mm-hmm. And then also, if you were talking to a specific person, mm-hmm, who would be the specific ask if you are someone who can help us with?
Sure. So the best way to get in contact with us is actually through our website, which will be womenleadingtechnology.org.
Which is scrolling down below.
Yes. And then you can also reach us via email, which is info@womenleadingtechnology.org. If you are a person, my ask is, if you are a leader that has the know-how and the background to help drive a nonprofit mission, I need you guys to reach out to us on that information provided, which is womenleadingtechnology.org or info@womenleadingtechnology.org.
All right. Well, Kelly Flowers, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, for your contribution. And remember, if you are a female heart-centered leader who is mission-driven and you think that you might be able to help Kelly and Women Leading Technology, please do reach out at their website, which is womenleadingtechnology.org. Kelly, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to continuing to follow your journey.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Cheryl.